The wind howled across the empty fields the morning her world almost ended. Emma stood at the ranch gate, her 2 children clinging to her skirt, their faces pale with hunger. She hadn't eaten in 2 days, so her children could have the last scraps of bread. Now even that was gone. With trembling hands and a voice that hardly belonged to her anymore, she whispered the words she'd sworn she would never say. "Please, take my children. They deserve to live." Emma, a woman running out of time, Emma had lost everything in less than a year. Her husband's sudden passing had left her drowning in debt. The small house they'd built together was taken by the bank. Her sewing work dried up as winter settled in. And the cold nights were beginning to steal her children's strength the way grief had stolen hers. She had walked miles to reach the largest ranch in the region. Owned by a man she had never met, but heard stories about a man named Daniel Hayes. People said he was cold. People said he cared only about expanding his land, not the people on it. But Emma didn't come for kindness. She came for survival. Daniel was a giant of a man broad shoulders, hands hard as the soil he worked, eyes unreadable. When he stepped out of the barn and saw Emma, clothes threadbare, children silent with fear, he didn't speak. He just watched. Emma braced herself for rejection. Or worse. The plea that broke the silence, she knelt in the dirt. "Please," she said, her voice cracking. "Take them. Feed them. Give them work someday. I don't care what happens to me. Just let them grow up." Her son tried to pull her back to her feet. Her little girl began to sob. And Daniel's jaw tightened, so sharply she thought he was angry. Then he said something she never expected. "Stand up and take your children inside." "I'm not taking them." He paused. "I'm taking you all." Emma blinked hard. "So I'm not asking for charity, and I'm not offering any," he replied, stepping closer. "I'm offering a home." The struggle to accept hope the ranch house was warm, almost painfully so after so many cold nights. There was food, simple stew, bread, warm milk. Emma watched her children devour their bowls, tears slipping silently down her cheeks. But each kindness Daniel offered made her chest tighten. She didn't trust this. She didn't trust him. No one helped without expecting something. Days turned to weeks. Daniel gave her small tasks, helping in the kitchen, tending to the garden once the frost melted. He never ordered her, never demanded repayment, never crossed a line, and that made her even more uneasy. One evening, Emma stood by the barn, watching Daniel repair a fence. Finally, she blurted out, "Why are you helping us?" Daniel set down his tools. "Because someone should have helped my mother when my father died, but no one did. And I watched her break trying to keep us fed. I swore, if I ever saw someone in her place, I wouldn't look away." Emma felt her throat tighten, challenges that tested them. Winter was cruel that year. The ranch hands left for warmer work, supplies ran thin. Daniel became feverish from working in the cold rain to save the cattle, and Emma found herself beside his bed every night, changing cloths, whispering prayers she had forgotten long ago. "You should rest," he murmured one night. "So should you," she whispered back. His fever broke 3 days later, and he opened his eyes and found Emma asleep in a chair beside him, her hand in his. Something inside him softened. But life didn't suddenly become easy. The debts from the ranch's previous season were heavy. Some townspeople whispered that Emma was taking advantage. Others said Daniel was a fool for feeding strays. The cruelest blow came when a wealthier neighboring rancher offered to buy Daniel a tonely if he removed the widow and her burdens. Daniel's refusal was immediate and loud. "They're not burdens," he said through gritted teeth. "They're my family." The neighbors laughed. Emma cried when she heard it, not because she felt unworthy, but because for the first time in so long, someone had chosen her. A new beginning formed slowly, then all at once, as spring arrived, Emma found herself smiling more. Her children got stronger, learned to ride, learned to laugh again. Daniel taught her son how to mend fences, and her daughter how to feed the lambs. One late afternoon, as gold sunlight spilled across the pasture, Daniel approached Emma with a nervousness she had never seen in him. "You once begged me to take your children," he said quietly. "I told you I'd take you too." He paused. "I meant it." Emma's heart raced. "Daniel, I don't want to replace the man you loved," he continued softly. "But if you're willing, if you'd let this place be your home, If you'd let me care for you, not because you need saving, but because I. She pressed a hand gently to his chest. Not to stop him, to steady him, to steady herself. Not giving you my children, she whispered. I'm giving you all of us, together. The inspiring message: their marriage wasn't fairy tale perfect. They argued, they struggled, they rebuilt. But they did it as a family, one forged, not by blood or convenience, but by compassion, courage, and the belief that broken things can become beautiful again when someone cares enough to hold them together. And Emma never forgot the moment she thought her story was ending, only to discover it had just begun. Because sometimes the world doesn't need more heroes, just needs more people who refuse to look away. And sometimes the greatest love stories start with the simple, trembling words, "Please, help us."